Hey, welcome back, folks. Today we're back on the Cat Duster. I got the frame and the sissy bar and everything back from my seat guy. So now I'm back to working on it. I got rear tabs I got to weld on it. I got some welding that I did on the front that I need to get cleaned up. Try and get everything blasted today and get this thing out and get some pretty powder coat on it. But I'm going to show you how I cut the rear tabs off. So I'm going to show you what was on it and how I'm going to go about reinstalling new tabs. Then I'm going to show you the pretty seat that we picked up. Sexy. But anyway, these were the rear tabs that were factory on the bike. And as you can see, somebody had tried to braze, I guess, inside of here. I tried to clean them up a little bit, and then once I seen how this was, I was like, yeah, these aren't, this ain't gonna cut it. So what I did is I made a new set here. And this is the jig that I normally make. Anytime I'm putting tabs back on the back something, I'll get the bike all straight and level. So I know everything, the frame is straight and level whenever I go to weld the rear tabs on. So what I'll do is I just made this. This is a 1/2 inch piece of all thread I just cut down. And I'll use some big flat washers and I'll just stack it up. It's probably a little overkill, but hey, it works. And then I'll put another nut on this side, just like I have on this side, and I'll get everything, my dimensions from inside to inside, which I took pictures and measurements before I cut them off the bike. So I'll get all this squared and set up and get my right geometry as to where they were from factory. And basically this, once I get everything tight, this will be able to hold them right where they were at. And then I can just find my, where the correct, I guess you could say, geometry was into relation where the factory ones were. So we got to get that done. And also, just in case my measurements are off, I can cheat a little bit because I have another Cat Duster frame with the factory tabs still on it, so I can double check my measurements. So we got to get that done. Like I said, I need to get the frame all blasted. I had to fix all this where it was all messed up in the front. So I got the gusset in. So I got to get all this cleaned up today. Get the sissy bar ground down and get it prepped. Get it all blasted. But let's take a look at the seat. See if I can get this out of here. Stop throwing it in the floor. Keep it wrapped up to keep the dust off of it. Come on. There we go. Now look at that. Is that not gorgeous or what? Even stitched it all in purple. Around the edge right here. Wow. And when it's on the bike, fits great, looks good, and comfy. Ooh. So I'm really anxious to get on it and ride it. But anyway, I have to leave y'all a link in the description below. My seat guy here in Bryan, Texas, that does all my mini bike seats for me. He does outstanding work. So that's where we're at today. Oh, that lighting got bad. So that's where we're at today. Got a lot of work to do, and weather's good outside, so hopefully I can get all this stuff done, get it blasted and bagged up and sent off for some pretty purple paint or powder coat. All right, so let's get to it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we got the Cat Duster on the table. I got it back from powder coat. I got some parts lined out. Actually, I got parts scattered all over the place because I'm working on this bike and the Hornet at the same time. And I got my race bike down here on the floor, which I got to put a little more sting in that thing today. So what I'm gonna try and do is get back on the Hornet, but I'm gonna show you what I got. Check out this sexy color. And I'm gonna at least try and get this thing in a roller today. Let's take a look at it. Woo-wee. See if we can kind of zoom in without distorting it. But got a little dust on it already. But it's prismatic powders. It's anodized grape. So there's a silver base coat over the top of the purple. I think it turned out really good. It's kind of crazy how you look at the paint in light. It looks really different. But it turned out really good. That's the little clutch cover. Then over here, I got all the cool pieces that some of it I've already powder coated, got lined out. So I'm trying, like I said, get it in a roller. Let's see, where's the rest of it at? Here we go. Already got the wheels done. I'm not sure if I think I showed where I got them all powder coated, but in the meantime, I went ahead and got them all assembled so I can kind of speed up the process. And this was a sissy bar you've probably seen in a previous video that I got from Rafi at GTS Hobbies. And I'm not sure. I think they're factory. I think they might be chrome, but we don't have a local chrome place around here. So I went ahead and powder coated it to match the rest of the bike frame and front forks. I got stuff scattered everywhere. get these over here where we can see them. Trying to keep from knocking anything down. But the front forks turned out extremely great. So, like I said, I have all the factory decals that I'm going to put back on it. So we'll put all those on probably the last. So I'll have it all set up on the table. But that's the plan for today, is try and get this thing in a roller. So I'm going to turn the camera off and see what we can get done in the meantime. Look, I already got dust on it. All right, let's make it into a roller. All right, we're going to try and get the neck bolt and everything. I got my bolt here. Normally I like to put a polyurethane washer on the top of the forks, but I didn't have any of this size, but I'm going to use a thin little aluminum washer on the top. And we got to finesse the spring, which goes in up underneath the forks. So we're going to try and do this without scratching everything up or me dropping it. And I got to get the spring in. So this is really where you need an extra set of hands, but I don't have them. So we're going to just try easily slide everything together without scratching it up. There we go. Get this down here. Then we're going to take the spring, because the spring goes underneath. This is basically your suspension for the front end. So we got to snake it in underneath here real gently, trying to ease the bolt down. There we go. And there's threads in the bottom of the factory frame. All right, that wasn't too bad. Let's see, is this going to touch and hit anything? We'll probably put a little piece of pipe in there, or a fuel line over the top of this so it doesn't scratch anything. And it's windy outside. Anyway, I got the spring inside here. This threads, and that's already threaded on the bottom. It's welded in, so we'll get that tightened up. All right, I'm gonna sit you down and get something else going. Ooh, it's a windy puppy today. All right, we'll go ahead and put the wheel bearings in this rascal. Turn this around a little bit. Let's try this again. All right, we'll get the wheel bearings in. These are from Go Power Sports. In this particular application, these are a 5/8 inside diameter and 1 3/4 on the outside diameter. And these are pretty common in a lot of the old vintage mini bikes. And if you have them and you don't necessarily, the application that you're using these for don't require the black ring, you can just take your pair of pliers or side cutters and grab the edge of this. And there's a groove that it fits in. You can roll it right out of that ring or out of that groove and not use it if you don't need it. But since I have them on here, and I think the original ones come with it on these, I do believe. So that's what we're gonna go with today. So if you need bearings, you can buy a whole sleeve of these, or you can buy just 2 or 1 or whatever. But that's where you get your old vintage bearings from Go Power Sports if you need them. So we'll go ahead and get these popped in here. Just want to tap on the outside edge of the race. And I went through and got the powder coating out. I think I got majority of it out. All right, there's one. And I didn't do it on camera, but I went ahead and pop one of these bearings, the sleeves off, to see how much grease was into these. Because I've been getting a lot of bearings that don't have a lot of grease. But these particular ones I picked up from GPS, I popped the covers off. Matter of fact, these two, just roll them out with the edge of a razor blade or a pick. And these things were, they were packed full of grease, which I've been seeing a lot of bearings that you get from, well, the ones I get at work anyway, don't have a lot in it. But these particular ones, they were packed plumb full of grease. So I didn't have to put any extra in them or anything. So put this other one in. All right, and I did order some snazzy acorn nuts, and after I got to looking at it, I think that might be a little too flashy for the bike. So I'm gonna put it together with the stock bolts, which these are just a regular locking nut, not the Nylon kind. They're what they call like a Stover bolt, and they're the factory ones. So I'm gonna put them in there, and I think what I might do later is just go back and like hand paint these, because some of the bolts I powder coated, these I did not, because I was intending to put the flashy chrome acorn. I think it's gonna be a little too flashy, but we're gonna put together with the stock bolts and axles, and we'll see how it looks. Might go back and change it. Axle and smear a little grease on everything. Help everything slide in a little bit better. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And we're going to see if we can get this on here. I'm going to put the valve stem facing on the outside. So if we can get it down here and see if we can keep them dropping everything in the floor. Let's see here. There is no spacer on these, so it just slides right up in here. Just like so. All right, cool. I think that'll work. Now it's gonna wanna fall on the floor, but wipe a little grease off. I'll get the other nut started. Back side. There we go. Then we'll get her all repositioned and see if we can get the back one on. All right, we're gonna go I went and got the back tire on. I didn't get everything bolted down because when I welded the tabs on the back to hold the rear wheel, the axle tabs, I left a little bit of play in them when I measured them. That way I have enough to shim the wheel back and forth if I need to line my engine up. So I just like to. So we're gonna jump forward and throw the kickstand on and both the foot pegs. I got new grips to put over them, but I think it's gonna be easier to mount the foot pegs on the bike and then put the rubber sleeve on and then mount it down. And anytime you get a frame powder coated and you place your bolts to go, you're gonna have to make sure and allow yourself some time to go through, make sure all your bolts fit through the holes, because the powder coating usually fills that in. So I had to go through and clean these tabs out just a hair to make sure my foot peg would go through. But we got that cleaned up, so that goes good. Just tighten down. I'm just gonna put polyurethane lock nuts on the back. Be good. All right, that's gonna work. Get the kickstand thrown in here. We'll put lock nuts on the bottom. And let's see if we can line this up without scratching everything up. Where's the hole? Right there's one. Let's see, where did the other one go? Nope, wrong hole. There it is. Get in here. All right, we'll just put a little polyurethane lock nut on the back side. And there we go. One more on the other bolt. Get my fingers to work. There it is. All right, let's tighten these up. And I'll probably leave it, I'll just snug it up. This kickstand is actually adjustable, so get it on the ground, then I can adjust it where I want it. That's pretty snug. All right, that worked for now. I did go ahead and put the e-brake spring on, which connects to the back of the pad, so keeps the deal up. Let's get the other foot peg on and see what else we can find to put on it. Let's see, I put the bolt in from the front and the nut on the back. Go. Tighten this up. All right, let me grab some foot pegs. These are the rubber foot peg grips. Couldn't find the exact same length, so these actually fit inside diameter wise. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line them up and find the nice groove in between that fits, because I cut the old ones off. So I'm gonna match that up. I'm gonna get these cut down and get both of the rubber foot pegs. installed. Okay, got the foot pegs mounted. Took the old ones, kind of matched them up, cut the new ones down because the new ones are real long. So got new foot pegs, out with the old, in with the new. Now we're gonna jump up here, got some hardware laid down. We're gonna jump up here and put the sissy bar and the seat on. So, I don't know if y'all seen it in the previous video. My seat guy made my seat pan. Normally I take on a lot of bikes like the Hornet, it's just a flat piece of board. But this one, he actually had to make everything, put the inserts in. So, because the bolts actually go through the frame, through the sissy bar, into the seat inserts. So, he actually made all this, got all the wood and everything, fiberglass, got it all stitched up, and I think it looks really good. So, I'm gonna sit the camera down and try and finagle the sissy bar in the frame, line up the bolts, then I gotta line it up into the seat. So let's get this thing put on and see what it looks like. All right, got that seat on, and that took a little finagling and holding your mouth just right to get the bolts in. See if we can try and zoom in underneath here and see, explain how it goes. You got your tube that comes down, and you got your sissy or your plates that are underneath the seat frame that are welded in. So you have to stick the bolt through the sissy bar, through the plate in the frame, and then screw it into the insert that's in the seat. So luckily when he put all my inserts and everything in, because I took the bike, he had everything where you go right into place, but it still took some time to hold the bar, get everything lined up, and hold your mouth just right. But I think it looks pretty snazzy on there. Get it on the ground, really want to sit on it. But all right, let's see what else we can get on this thing. All right, here we go. It's power plant time. Individually wrapped for your own protection. All right, we're gonna try and get the motor on it. I fixed the white tank that was on it. If y'all remember in the bottom of the video, let's see if we can get down here and take a picture of it. It was actually busted. So I went ahead and repaired it. I think it's gonna stay pretty good, but I did find, look at that, got grease on it. I did find a brand new black tank and cap that'll go on it. So I'm gonna see how the motor looks, and we'll go from there. Might end up changing it. But got my hardware out, got some 5/16 bolts. I'm gonna put a small flat washer on the top. Then I'm gonna use these bigger washers, a little bit thicker. I use these on the bottom, kind of when you go underneath the engine plate. Older bikes, you'll see them like cracked a lot. I usually like to use a bigger washer if there's room, just to kind of give it a little more strength when you're bolting it down. So let's get this thing on there so we can find a clutch and see if we can get the chain routed. That way I can get the motor and everything situated and see where I need to space the back wheel, see if the back wheel needs to go either, you know, in or out. And then I'm gonna show you some nifty chain guard things that I have. And we're gonna see if we might wrap this thing up and call it a day. But let's get this done right quick and see what it looks like. All right, well, let's see where we're at here. Got a couple things I was gonna discuss. Had to flip my air cleaner. I had this whole assembly actually rotated down. Then when I went to stick the motor up, realized this needed to be, the whole back housing needed to be flipped up so I could have enough room clearance. But anyway, we threw a clutch on there, chain, just to kind of get stuff eyeballed, make sure everything's lined up. I still have a little spacing right here that I need to shim out my axle. But let me show you something really cool. A very good buddy of mine that is trying to fix me up with some of these. Now, this is the original cat piece. This one actually, there was quite a bit of it left. Normally, your chain guide on these is either broken half or just completely missing. See if we can zoom in here. Let's tilt it up a little bit. There we go. This is the factory one here. And I'm gonna have to find out what machine he has. He's got some fancy gizmo gadget that makes these. Now I'm gonna play stupid because I have no idea what you're gonna call it. I think it's yeah. I'm just killing time trying to figure out what it's called. But anyway, he goes in, punches some stuff into a fancy computer, blah, 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 and it molds one of these out of plastic or whatever this stuff is. He said he's got different strengths and different colors, whatnot. So anyway, he made me a couple, made me 2 to kind of go by and to as like test units so we could fine tune it a little bit, because this one, the original one, had somewhat to work with, but it was kind of ate up inside here. But I thought it was really cool. So we got a little fine tuning he's going to fix up on this. I think he said he can make me some in the black to go with the original stuff. But anyway, I'm going to give you more details whenever we get back to putting all this back together. I'm going to call it a wrap for today. And like I said, I'm going to find out what machine he uses and whatever it's called, because right now I have no clue. I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, everything's looking pretty good. We're going to get some little fine tuning on these. Got the motor in there. But wife come home and said the white tank just looks goofy because it's all kind of faded yellow, even though it's cleaned. She's like, nah, that don't look cool. And like I said, I have a new style black tank, but it's got the big, huge cap in the center instead of the old vintage tank. So I was like, well, let me see what we can do. So I thought about it for a minute, and I tracked this stuff down here a while back. This stuff is if you have like your trim bumper guards, your tailgate pads that's got the satin black trim to it. This stuff right here is extremely good. I have a old 2000 Dodge pickup, and the bumper caps and the piece on the back of the tailgate was, weathered, pretty faded. It's a 2000 model. So buddy hooked me onto this stuff, and he said you just scotch it, bright it really good, and wipe it down with like acetone or lacquer thinner and give it some nice even coats. And it's been kicking out in the hot sun for I don't know how long. I've had the truck for a little while, and this stuff has worked really good. Stepping on and off the bumper works good, and it doesn't scuff easy at all. Of course, this cam was like $20. But anyway, the whole point is I'm going to clean this tank up and wipe it down real good and spray this on it, and we're going to test this stuff out on a gas tank and see how it does and see how it looks. It's kind of a satin black, so we're going to give that a shot. It's starting to rain here, fixing to close up. Did give y'all a sneak peek. Y'all want to see a sneak peek? I did get the Hornet done. So, like I said, I'm doing 2 bikes at one time. So that's next up on the chopping block. But we've got a few things we got to work out. Still got a throttle control we got to put on. The brake lever, the brake parts. I forgot to powder coat 2 pieces, so I didn't get the brakes done today. So I got to get back to throw those in the oven and get those painted. A few other odds and ends, but we're going to have this bike down and on the floor and riding pretty soon. So we're going to wrap it up for today and call it a day before it starts raining. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thank y'all.